Connecting on the 4 members, we might have a comeback for the ages. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Will they be able to escape ETC? Does fall. What a counterattack by Regen Red, and he's gonna barely get away with his friggin' teleport ability. Holy shit! That was really spicy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Monday night here with Nexus Gaming Series. I'm going to be your host tonight, Murda, joined by my good friend Jason here to my right. Tonight we have the Division D East Finals between Frank's Furters and Full Meta Jacket. Jason, what is up, my man?
Well, you know, it's a Monday night showdown hype style match. We've got our final Coastal final tonight. We're going to find out who is going to get to go on to face Bugin Squad this upcoming week in the best of 5 grand finals, and should be a very interesting match here tonight. I can't wait to see it.
So let me recap quickly how the playoffs have unfolded for these teams thus far. First, we saw Full Meta Jacket knocking out Luciodology in the opening round. Then in the semifinals, they knocked out Save the Murloc, who were the #1 seed here in these Division D East playoffs. Then on the other side, Frank's Furters went through Olaf and the Sweaty Bandits, and then 2 calculated to throw last week in the semis, and they're going to clash tonight. Winner going on to those grand finals, and I'm pretty excited just to see how this is going to work out between these two teams. We have #2 versus #4. Our top seed and #3 seed knocked out, and a couple teams made their way here to these finals, Jason.
Yeah, I would say for sure Full Meta Jacket, you know, playing kind of that bracket buster. We haven't seen a whole lot from different divisions throughout the season, so really nice to see at least one of those teams make it through that maybe wasn't expected. But in Div D, you know, the competition all season seemed like it was a little bit closer. And I know that I had Save the Murlocs going all the way in my bracket, so I'm going to be very interested to see how they in particular perform tonight, where, you know, they've kind of lived beyond expectations in the past.
Yep.
Sometimes that can put a little bit of extra pressure on you going into a match.
I got to cast the semifinal match between Full Meta Jacket and Save the Murloc, and it was a 2-0 in favor of FMJ. They went to Dragonshire and Sky Temple, but tonight we already have a ban on Sky Temple from Frank's Furters, taking away that map from Full Meta Jacket. The other ban tonight was Infernal Shrines. Still don't know where we're headed to yet. Do we have a lobby invite?
Yeah, I'm actually just hopping in right now. Looks like we're going to Dragonshire.
Ooh, D Shire, which was one of those maps that Full Meta Jacket was able to beat Save the Murlocs on. So potentially, you know, they're looking at another upset here as this #4 seed. If they can get going on maps they're comfortable on, I think this team, from what I saw last week, definitely has what it takes. But we got to play this game to find out.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of what comes into these big, like, long tournaments where you're going 3-4 rounds deep, you're doing these best of 3s and then the best of 5 at the end. A lot of it comes down to consistency. You know, which team can stick to their guns, play their game the best, you know, and which team can kind of keep that composure going through the tournament. So I think a lot of that's gonna be the biggest factor today, is which team can show up, be ready to play, or if either of these teams are starting to run out of gas here late in the season.
Do you want to say a quick shout out to those of you out in Twitch chat right now? Thanks for stopping in this evening. And I also want to thank you for helping us reach 800 followers here on the NGS Twitch page. A lot of that can be credited to the work you've done this season, Jason, as our head caster. But what a fantastic community you guys are. 800 followers. Papa bless to all you guys out there.
Yeah, everybody's been doing great work, especially in these finals matches, coming on to the NGS channel, sacrificing a little bit of maybe their own viewership potential on their own channels. So, you know, a big thank you to all the casters for doing that as well. And I hope that people will seriously consider giving some love to these casters, to, you know, in this case, into Murda specifically. You know, you could be hosting this on your channel and getting some followers for yourself. So don't forget to head over to those casters' channels as we get into the grand finals and give them some love too. Followers, subscribers, anything you guys can do really helps support and keep these guys motivated to keep doing the good work they're doing.
Yeah, both Jazon and I believe your Twitch handle's also Jazon Hots, right? So you can check these tags right below our names if you're looking for us on Twitter, on Twitch, over on the NGS Discord. Say hi, say what up, and hopefully you guys enjoy this cast tonight. Jazon, I can't remember, have we casted before, or like when might that have been? It's been some time if we have.
Yeah, I think we haven't done it yet this season, but we've definitely done some casts in the past. But,
yeah.
Definitely looking forward to it. This was one that I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, Murda wants to do this one. I think I can fit this one in onto my schedule. So let's make this a duo regen caster style match and get into this.
Well, speaking of getting into things, we have our first draft starting right now. It's going to be Dragonshire, as Jazon mentioned. And first to ban here, it's going to be Frank's Furters on the clock. I don't have like too much info on these guys. Haven't had the opportunity to cast them this season. Jazon, have you had any opportunity to scout this at all?
None, unfortunately.
None.
Also doing a lot of cool stuff for Nexus Edge today, so I had a lot of scouting and NGS stuff on my plate as it was. But I will tell you this much, though. Varian is not one that I see very often. So right out the gate, Frank's Furters going with a bit of a unique ban. And no surprise to see these frontline tanks kind of being targeted here early.
Absolutely. Want to shout out a few people in chat. I see Bilalo's here right now. We got the Turd Herder himself, Mark Zombie, showing up. And X-Ray Lud. I know those emotes. Those are some Murda RG emotes. Thanks for hopping over here and watching us on the NGS channel. And thanks for being a subscriber over there. As we see our second ban coming in from Frank's Furters. It's going to be that pesky little Stukov.
Yeah, Stukov pretty good in the rotation game here. Gives a lot of extra sustained healing, but also the burst healing in team fights as well. And the silences in these entrances and exits to these shrines can be pretty difficult to deal with. And he's got good ranged poke to be able to deny the dragon. So I really like that ban out early. If they're looking for maybe an Ana early, they might try to choke out the other supports. But there's the Ana in response, so... full meta jacket, not having any of that.
I kind of like this. Both sides sort of doing the same thing, taking away one of those frontliners and then taking away one of those supports. So, pretty even bans in my opinion. But the Diablo and Ana, a little bit more of impact heroes in my opinion, that were banned out by full meta jacket. But of course, it's Frank's Furters first to click in a hero, and it's gonna be the little girl Orphea. Jazon, what do you think about this mage? I know you play a lot of mages.
Yeah, I play a lot of mages. Unfortunately, Orphea is not one of them. She's so difficult to master, but I put her in that same category of like the Alarax and Zul'jins and heroes that if you like Samuro, if you have a specialty in that hero, it can get so much value because she's so niche and very difficult to play against.
FMJ gonna respond with a Rainer and an Arthas. This Arthas will provide a lot of slowing on the front line. Of course, we don't see what those melee heroes are gonna be for Frank's Furters quite yet. So perhaps a bit of a comfort pick there with the Arthas. In response, it's gonna be Deckard Cain and ETC for the hot dogs.
Yeah, a lot of CC for Orphea to be able to follow up on. Also good rotational healing ability from Deckard, being able to leave those potions in a certain lane on a certain shrine. Give a little bit of extra, almost global healing if he wants to rotate to a different lane. But also on the other side, Rainer Arthas, a very strong combo with that Ace in the Hole talent at level 1. Going to get a lot of extra damage from the slow ability that Arthas is going to give you on that front line.
Final ban going to be the Cyber Ninja Genji. And we're waiting to see what Frank's Furters have in mind here for their final ban. But still no support on the side of FMJ. Wondering if they want to take away something like a Tyrande here that can help interrupt an ETC during a mosh pit. You know, potentially be a disruption for what Frank's Furters is trying to put together. But instead, no, they're going to ban away this Jaina here.
Yeah, I like the Jaina ban. More slows, and of course that Jaina-Rainer combo. Something we see a lot. So I think that's a pretty good ban coming out. Kind of chokes out the mage pool as well, as they've already got their Orphea so denies a little bit of wave clear potential there in these rotations and camp taking ability. So I really like that ban, but I expect to see the healer coming out here for full meta. They're going to go Brightwing and double Global here as well, so it's going to give them that rotational advantage pre-10 before ETC can get that stage dive.
So I'm looking at this and wondering if they're trying to get a bunch of slows here for Raynor to get the damage in. Of course, Falstead can opt to get some slows on his Hammerang. Brightwing can get some slows with her Q as well. So with that Arthas, Raynor's looking like he could get a lot of damage in on this fight. It's going to be a Phoenix here for Boggs, and final selection's a Rexar for Cruncher77. Now we got to look at all these heroes, and I really like that Rexar for the top lane here on D-Shire, Jason.
Yeah, he's so difficult to deal with. Specifically, Misha being able to constantly put pressure on that shrine while Rexar can still soak out and pressure the lane. It can be very difficult for any one hero to deal with. I will say Falstad is one of the heroes that are probably better at dealing with that than most other heroes because of his ability to barrel roll back and forth. But Johanna going to be the final pick. They definitely needed another front line, and they already have a couple of good solo lane options. So I like getting a main tank, good rotational ability, and another slow option on the front with that punch.
Couple things for chat right now. First off, thank you, Slexia, for that resub. 3 months now. Thanks for being on board and for continuing your support with us. Second, I got to come to you guys in chat. You have to vote. It's time. You've seen all these heroes picked, all 10 of them. Who's going to win game number 1? Hashtag FF if you want to vote for Frank's Furters, or hashtag FMJ if your vote's for the number 4 team, Full Meta Jacket. I'm kind of like, I don't know. It's a toss-up here for me. I love this front line with the Johanna and Arthas for the Raynor setup. But I think that Rexar might be a little too much in the top lane. We're going to find out, Jason.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Rexar is a great pick. I think Phoenix is going to turn out to be a really strong pick as well in this rotational game, in this camp-taking ability, and the team-fighting ability for Frank's Furters feels a lot stronger. So if I'm just looking at the draft, I'm going over to Frank's Furters. But again, it's Div D. Anything could happen in this division, and I think it really is a matter of which team shows up, who's better on their rotation game and their macro, and who's going to put it on tonight.
All right, so we're in game number 1. It's going to be Dragonshire, and over on the left-hand side, we got Magic Monster on the Orphea, Boggs playing Phoenix, Indecisive on the Deckard King, Cruncher77 playing Rexar and Misha, and last but not least, you know him as the Pig, the Dallying Pig. He's on ETC. Ladies and gentlemen, the number 2 team out of Division D East, they are Frank's Furters.
And on the right, we have number 4, Full Meta Jacket. We've got Jugger Rob going to be playing the Raider. Modest Trolling going to be on the Brightwing. Barber going to be on the Falstad. Rough Day Team going to be on the Arthas. And Rune Time Matt Logic going to be on the Johanna.
So let's look at these level 1 talents. Of course, it's going to be ace in the hole for Raynor. I talked about these slows and how much they can provide, and that last pick being the Johanna, I think makes it even better. I'm expecting a lot of damage here out of Raynor, and quite frankly, I don't know if there's much to get in his face because of this frontline Johanna.
Yeah, instant rotation to the bot lane here for Frank's Furters, so they're already going to be really strong on the rotation game. And worth noting that I really like a lot of what they've done. It's kind of off topic, but I like what they've done with the rework on this map. A little bit different artwork hanging around, but makes things look nice and pretty, almost like they needed to rework it. But slide in now, combo, a ton of damage coming down on the Jugger Rob. Look out, Orphea trying to get in there, and it's going to be that last auto attack. It's going to have to get first blood for Frank's Furters.
Yeah, it looked like Brightwing hit a pretty good cleanse there, the area cleanse on her trait, but Raynor just kind of didn't back up. I don't know if he wasn't expecting it or what, but it wasn't synced up there. So first blood of the game will belong to Frank's Furters as these shrines are activating. I'm keeping the action down here in the bottom lane. Dallying Pig holding it and trying to push these minions forward as the fight might be breaking up by this enemy siege camp. They're just going to let Johanna back away. ETC going to walk on the point. And up top, you see Rexar up there with Misha already. So both in possession of Frank's Furters as Phoenix going to start the channel. Falstead nearby. Should be safe here, Jason.
And Indecisive trying to zone, but there is the barrel roll in. And now the reinforcements are here. Look out, the Phoenix Fogs is going to go down. So good answer there from Full Meta Jacket on the rotation in mid. Now they got all 4 members here. I do want to point out one nice thing earlier, though. A little bit subtle, but Frank's Furters doing that 4-man rotation into the siege. Kind of checking. Seeing if Full Meta Jacket was on it. Seeing if they could get a quick pick. They're doing some good rotations here. And up in the top lane, Rough Day team is having a rough day against Cruncher 77 here, that Rexar. Gonna be a tough matchup for him. It should get a little bit better. Arthur scales pretty well.
Both teams kind of looking at their camps, but it's Barber playing this Falstead, working on Full Meta Jacket's siege camp right now. That should be first camp of the game, as no one has moved over from Frank's Furters onto theirs yet. Back up top, we talked about Rexar going to be winning this matchup, but Arthas is playing it all right. I do like that he went into Eternal Hunger at level 1. It's going to help him stay in this a lot longer and help when he's just bashing his Frostmourne into Misha like this.
Right, and actually getting the slow onto Rexar, so putting some pressure onto him as well. Gets him very low, going to force him to back up and tap. Now it's just Misha trying to zone on there, but this is constant pressure in the mid that Barber's going to have to continue to work on, as that Rexar just keeping the top lane constantly focused, and they're not going to Full Meta Jacket's not going to be able to hold the bottom lane all of the time. So an instant advantage for Frank's Furters
will they?
All the time.
Yeah, look at that. Full Meta Jacket losing their Rainer, and that's all their damage here in this bottom lane. They're keeping Falstead at mid for now, so they have to leave this siege camp that was on the wall. Not going to get all the value they wanted. But up top, it's the Brightwing Arthas, making sure they're holding on to that point for now against Rexar. But they're dedicating 2 heroes up here, up against just this Cruncher 77 Rexar. And I don't think they're going to be able to push that bottom lane like they have been early in this game. They're going to have to start thinking about bringing the Brightwing down eventually if they want to get control of that bottom shrine.
And the nice thing is that the Brightwing can come down anytime they want to look to pressure, but Siege Camp is picked up in bot lane for the side of Frank's Furters, so a little bit of extra pressure down here as they're already holding the lanes, kind of forcing Full Meta Jacket to have more to answer to here.
And here's that Siege Camp. Rainer trying to pellet it down. That's Jugger Rob playing old Jim there. ETC still looking at that point. Of course, it's still in their control. So they're just kind of trying to keep this scouted, making sure nothing crazy is going to happen, but I don't know if they can get the channel. Boggs is still pressured by Falstead. Barber's been sticking around mid almost the entire game. And now Rainer regaining control down bottom. More ring around the rosy, Jason.
Yeah, that's pretty much the name of the game here on Dragonshire, especially in the first 10 levels. Rexar actually goes down in the top lane, so Rough Day team finally getting the better of that advantage. And with Full Meta Jacket having the bot lane, they can look to maybe try and play here, make a play here for the first Dragon Knight of the game.
Yeah, he's got it. Barber inside that DK, and we'll see where he wants to push first. Looks like mid, at least these minions with that fire breath. I don't know if anyone got to watch Game of Thrones last night, but I'm getting a little PTSD seeing this Dragon Knight.
Ready to have a little fun?
Oh man. What an episode that was, but no spoilers here, ladies and gentlemen. But we do see the push into the bot lane, and a nice cleanse coming out in response to that scroll from Indecisive. Modest doing a nice job showing us what the new Brightwing's all about. We haven't seen a whole lot of the Brightwing since that change came out, but you see it here and there, and on a big map like this, it can get a nice advantage for you as well.
I see some more Murda RG emotes in chat. It makes me smile. I know you can't see my phrase right now. It's a great polymorph. BTC's gonna fall. That was a really nice play by Modus. Just like, you can't walk around here. We have a DK. My whole squad's with me. One polymorph. The cow's down. Making mincemeat of him.
Yeah, very nice capitalization for Full Meta Jacket there. They get some good pressure in the mid. It'll be nice to kind of take away that safety net a little bit from Frank's Furters the rest of this game as they rotate around. Usually bot lane is the priority, but I don't mind the focus on the mid lane, especially if Frank's Furters has all their defensive capabilities in the bot lane to start here.
So here we go. First bruiser camp of the game. They're going to take it with that level 10 advantage they had, but now level 10's here for the other side. Looks like they might try to walk down here. Decker Kane's walking all the way in, throwing out that scroll and stealing. Will lock in Brightwing, who did Emerald win maybe a bit early. Here comes a Lornado pulling right wing back. It's Johanna, though, still here. Gus coming out from Barber on the top side as Orphea almost finishing him off. Decker Kane still on the point with ETC. And that's a successful steal, Jason.
That's a really big win for Frank's Furters. They lost a little momentum, and now Arth is the one to fall in that exchange as a couple members of Frank's Furters go in there. So very nice response to being a little bit behind there in the early game, losing that first objective. Now they're able to pressure here and flop with Captain Soul. Going to get a little bit of siege damage at the right.
This wall's going to stand for now. One of the towers is down, though. Tornado not gonna, ooh, maybe there wasn't any follow-up, but it might have been enough to get a little bit of damage onto Rainer there, but no one nearby. We do still have this mosh pit online, and anytime ETC has it, you got to be thinking about it for the enemy team.
Yeah, I almost just overly assumed it was going to be stage dive because of the map that we're on, but it is going to be the mosh pit. Those can always turn a fight in any which direction. I will say this much though: there's like 4 or 5 really easy interrupts. So I'm going to be very, very impressed if we see a big, influential mosh pit this game. But even just the threat of it sometimes can change the way you have to position and play the game. So I don't mind that pick for Dowling pick. We'll see if it works out for him here.
Yeah, I see chat also wanting to talk about this Syndra Gosa pick from Arthas. Rough Day team doing pretty good so far against Rexar. We saw him get that one pick earlier, was able to get on the point and win that first Dragon Knight for his team. And now having another offensive tool like Syndra Gosa, I mean, that might actually help pick off a Rexar escaping. Or even this Misha who's solo right now.
Yeah, trying to get the Misha down. The deal comes out and still sub 200 health, but we'll finally make it away. But look out, Boggs is now up here as well, but he goes right into that Arthas slow, so they're going to be slowing his auto attacks a bit. But it looks like Rough Day team is going to have to get out of this situation if he wants to live. The cutoff is here, but here comes the Brightwing with the teleport down, and now it's Boggs that's on the retreat.
Yeah, oh, I wish Modus Trollin could have held that polymorph. Wait for that warp so Phoenix can escape that. Maybe they end up with a kill there, but instead, Phoenix back behind the wall, getting that shielding, used a well tap, and might be able to rejoin up here, but Misha taking a ton of damage here from Rough Day team.
Yeah, meanwhile, down in bot lane, it is going to be recapped here for Frank's Furters, so without Brightwing here, getting a little bit of an extra advantage from Decisive and all these heals. Slide comes in, good CC combo and follow from Gus. Good from Barber to kind of disengage that, saving Jugger Rob for now. And Lornado not quite going to find its mark there, but I like him throwing that cooldown out. It's a very low cooldown on that Lornado, and you never know when it's going to respond with big kill and follow.
Oh, flying up top is Falside. They're looking at Rexar. Cruncher's pretty low, lightning on him. Oh, but the rod not long enough.
Huh. It's always a shame when the rod isn't quite long enough to finish the job. But we are
Mosh pit? That's 2. I think Jugger Rob's definitely down. Does he live? No. See ya.
No,
they make it a triple.
Down here.
They already have bottom, which not the best news for them. They still got to make it all the way back up top with the Rexar if they want this DK. So instead, I think this is the smart move. Just get a structure instead of roaming around the map and getting nothing with this advantage.
Yeah, this is a big win again for Frank's Furters. This bottom lane is so influential in this match. All 3 of those bottom sets of camps go into that bot lane. It's the traditional lane to try and finish the game on. So getting that first one open is big. They also have a nice level advantage. Pretty soon here, Frank's Furters is going to have level 16 as the advantage up on full meta jacket. And that's going to be a big opportunity for them to try and make a play for this DK if they haven't gotten it already.
There are camps available on the map. It's Falstead, really the only one looking at it. We haven't seen nearly as much prioritization from Frank's Furters here on Dragonshire, but they're the team closer to level 16, just a half level away. And they're in control of both these shrines right now. Orphea going to try to channel, but 2 heroes nearby. Phoenix going to make this rotation over to mid near this DK Temple Shrine. Falstead's here,
now,
though. He might be able to turn on Orphea.
Yeah, a bit of an advantage in numbers here for full meta jacket. They're here in the defense. But I like this pressure being put all across the map here by Frank's Furters. They're keeping the pressure up. And look out, Rough 18 getting low, but slide in from Barber. They're going to catch Cruncher 77 out here. Now they should be able to pick this up. But in the mid, you see a bit of an outnumber for Frank's Furters. And that's right as level 16 comes down. That's exactly what Full Meta Jacket needed.
Yeah, exactly what they needed, and we've started to see the Falstead playing more aggressive since the 10-minute mark in this game. Second time now they've tried to get that kill on Rexar like that, but the first time they're able to be successful with it. So you see the Phoenix having to make the rotation up to the top each time Rexar is not there, and it's really limiting what Frank's Furters can do in the rest of this map. As you see Decker Kane in trouble, Hyperion's been dropped, but very low is Arthas. Crushing Jaw's gonna miss everyone. And Decker Kane's gonna fall. That's a staggered death in 40 seconds as the Syndra Kosa gonna slow down ETC Polymorph as well. Howling Blast, and see you later down. He lives. How does he live, Jason?
He had that Q just in time to be able to get out, saved it until that opportune moment to roll away. But still, this fort can be taking a ton of damage. Look at the re-engage though. Valiant Big gonna slide in. Nice shotgun coming in though from Jugger Rob, getting them back a little bit. They almost get the fort down, but they will be able to cap here in bot lane and prevent that Dragon Knight from being capable by Frank's Furters for now.
Two more heroes rotating down. It's Phoenix and Falstead as Deckard Kane is just now respawning. Full strength for both sides. Each team having their level 16 talents, but neither side able to get this second objective of the game quite yet. We're about 13 minutes and 40 seconds in. That bottom fort just now falling as Right Wing trying to get herself out, but wasn't able to heal the rest of her team. Raynor down first, Gus coming out. Arthas might still be stuck here as ETC's approaching, has the mosh pit, and heroes are stacked. If he power slides this, he's got some locked in. He's going to go for it.
And is able to slide in, still holding the mosh pit. Is able to walk in and then looking to cut off two members here. Savo's going to come down, get damage on, but will not be able to finish anybody else off. And now Room Time Logic just going to walk the other direction, try to zone a little bit here. That's a big 3-for-0 exchange throughout that entire scenario. It was a long team fight, but Frank's Furters now should be able to take this Dragon Knight and take control of this map.
They still got to make it all the way up top. Barber just regaining control of that for Full Meta Jacket. So here comes ETC and Orphea trying to switch that from red to blue. They still have 25 seconds until Johanna respawns, representing full strength for Full Meta Jacket. So I think this is 100% going to be a Dragon Knight. We just got to see who can get here in defense in time. ETC still pretty far away here, Jason.
Yeah, we just see a pause coming out. It looks like we might have a DC or some kind of lag issue. But yeah, it's like you said, you got two members down. It's going to be a very tough defense here for the side of Full Meta Jacket.
So I've flipped us back over to the caster bench here so you can hang out with Murda and Jason for just a moment. We're trying to figure out what's going on here with one of our players, potentially a disconnect. We're not exactly sure, so a little bit of a pause
it sounds
here.
Like it might be a comms issue. It looks like Indecisive having trouble talking to the rest of the team, but yeah, internet or something for sure. So it's usually the issue.
So let's use the break to talk maybe a bit about these talents. We did finally see that Eternal Hunger finished up at level 1 for Arthas, just one stack away on the Mind Devourer from Orphea. That sounded like I had some sort of speech impediment. Mind Devourer. And then the other quest we had was, of course, Prog Rock for ETC has been completed. And Gathering Storm only at 34 for Falstead, kind of lower, almost 15 minutes in here on D-Shire. But anything else really sticking out to you, Jason, that you wanted to talk about?
Arsenal Synergy, I really like that call for the Phoenix. Get that extra damage if you're able to pull it off. But that stutter step and that every third one switching over is kind of fun, but kind of difficult to do as well. So far, only 34 stacks for Gathering Storm is a little bit surprising to me this late into the game. 15 minutes in almost. It's only been hitting about 2 of those per minute. But especially in a world where we see this new W build coming out with the Bribe on such a merc heavy map here that might have gotten more value, but overall we've seen pretty even team fighting. So we'll see how it goes towards the end. We've got ults up on both sides. About three available for each alive team member as we go into this last team fight over this. Well, maybe not last, but this next team fight over this Dragon Knight. And big thing is that bottom fort is down here for the side of full meta jackets. So could be looking at possibly the bottom keep if you're Frank's Furters.
Looks like our player is returning. Apparently the mic was dead for him. Before we get back into the game, I want to say thank you for a few follows that came out tonight. We have Pontar and Jaikunok. Appreciate you guys stopping in tonight and hope you're enjoying the show. So level 20 approaching, still about a level and a quarter for Frank's Furters and a little over 2 levels left for Full Meta Jacket. It's a 1 level lead right now for Frank's Furters, and I think once those level 20s get here, that could be really the turning point for when we start seeing some of these structures fall. I know it's going to help tremendously whoever gets this Dragon Knight, but I think really those level 20 talents, and if Frank's Furters can get them that far ahead of Full Meta Jacket, that might be all it takes to end up winning this map.
Yeah, level 20, definitely the second biggest talent tier differential in the game, and I don't know that they're going to be able to get it here before they have their Dragon Knight push. They'd have to kind of stall it out a bit. That might be a decent play to keep soaking out in the lanes, but they don't have any kind of global to be able to quickly dive in like what Full Meta Jacket has on the other side. So could give them an opportunity to try to catch up a little bit with that global presence, but ultimately we're just going to have to see how it goes.
I don't even know if we can type to them. I think I'm set as a observer, yeah. So hopefully they're back
still
soon.
Working on that mic. What a time to have your mic die, by the way, Murda. You're sitting here in the division finals.
Yeah, well, we're looking at about 7 minutes, and I know, like, for the rules' sake, I think they only get 10 minutes, so and I have no way to type to them, which is kind of the unfortunate part. 10 minutes almost up. Yeah, they can't see that.
They can't see Murda.
So we'll keep waiting. How's the weather out there, Jason?
It's a brisk, 70 degrees, and it's been good weather, but rain is coming.
Oh yeah, we had a bit of rain yesterday. I was traveling back from visiting my mother, and I snuck out of town just in time because the rain followed me right when I got home. We were in a severe thunderstorm warning, so weather's been kind of weird here this month, but it's what you expect. It's May. Showers always happen, right?
Yeah, you would think in Oregon we'd get more rain, but in Southern Oregon it's almost more like California weather, so kind of off and on.
Let me reach out to Dallying Pig over on Discord. Oh, it's 15 minutes for playoffs, I'm hearing from chat? Okay.
That makes sense.
Never mind, we get 15 in playoffs. But that's combined for the whole match, right? So, appreciate the ping, Arrow. I got you there. But yeah, they are running up to their limit, which is very unfortunate. Let me flip back over the game really quick so you can see what's going on. Yeah, a whole lot of nothing here right now.
That's okay. This gave me time to send Murda a good Mongoose a good meme that I made about Game of Thrones.
Oh, there's some good memes out there right now. I was browsing the Game of Thrones subreddit, and guys, I'm not gonna say anything about the show, especially last night's episode or this season, but there's some good memes out there, and it's
if you're not ready for it to be spoiled, there's some great memes out there.
Yeah, they're fun, and you know, I like following along. I've been watching actually like a lot of YouTube videos about the show, trying to get involved this season, and there's a lot of cool stuff out there. A lot of creative people in that community.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, originally I got into the show because everybody in my WoW raid was into it, and I was like, I don't understand why exactly this appeals so much. And then I watched it. It's like, okay, it's a medieval times show in a group of people that are playing a kind of medieval times kind of game. So that, yeah, that crossover makes sense.
Hold on, I just want to check something in the rule book to see what it says about pause time per match, pause time per game. Make sure we have all this set up correctly. Teams may pause a total of 3 times per game due to disconnects or technical issues. The amount of pause time must not exceed 10 minutes per match per team. So that is per match. If a team uses their full 10 minutes, they must unpause the game if their opponent requests that the game be resumed, and the team that has paused refuses to resume, the map is forfeit and results in a map win for their opponent. So if this is up to 15 minutes for the playoffs, that is per match, not per game. So it's just 15 minutes total. And they are approaching that 15-minute mark here in the next minute. So gonna reach out to Dallying Pig and make sure he's aware.
Well, it is a really big issue. You know, you want to be able to communicate with all 5 of your team members. That's really what makes coordinated play like NGS such a big difference over, you know, say your Storm Leagues of the universe, where people barely ever get into voice chat to talk with each other. So I don't mind waiting to make sure both of these teams are good to go. But of course, you also have to be respectful to your opponents and make sure you're not taking up too much of everybody's time. Because, you know, they could theoretically play without it, but looks like we are
looks
getting
like they're ready.
The approval that they are good to go, and they fixed it. So, whew.
All right. Well, I can't type to them, so hopefully one of them will count in.
Yep. It's an issue that we don't see a whole lot in the game, so.
Do we have any volunteers to count in? There we go.
Anyone.
3, 2, 1, and Jay's on. Twitch chat, everyone here tonight. We're finally back in after a 15-minute delay. And you're quickly jumping on top of Rainer. That rotation came out fast. It's definitely going to be a Dragon Knight. And Jason, I talked about level 20s being around the corner. If they get a couple towers here, a few of these minion waves, they're going to be pretty darn close with this Dragon Knight.
Yeah, that is a massive pick as they push in here. Rainer, definitely one of their top anti-siege components. So we are going to see the push going into mid, and this is just laser focus coming out here from Frank's Furters on this push.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Arthas just has to throw out that Syndra Ghoster to rotate them out of this lane. Crushing Jaw's going to land on a couple of them, and here comes that big phase shift in from Brightwing, but it's into a mosh pit, and Mode is trolling down already. Booted away his runtime logic on the other side of the wall, so Johanna not here to help defend. Finally respawning is Rainer, throwing out that Hyperion, but mid keep has fallen, and it's going to belong to Frank's Furters.
Yeah, that is first keep of the game. Level 20 coming in short order now for Frank's Furters, so they're going to be able to take their pick on how they want to try to get an advantage on the map. I like the quick rotation here from Boggs, but good response from Full Meta Jacket. But now level 20 is here. This is a fight that FMJ cannot take. They have to back away from this and let the camp go.
So I got those level 20 talents up on the screen, and look at this. It's engulfing Oblivion from Orphea. Can do a lot of extra work. Good gust, but a little late. Arthas gonna fall. They don't have enough to finish off Dallying Pig. He's healing himself up with that Prog Rock. They're going to go ahead and steal away the second camp in a row here. Down bottom, that siege camp being taken care of by Barber and Jugger Rob, both the damage dealers here for Full Meta Jacket, as they're going to have to rotate all the way up to this top lane. Bruiser can't push it in, and it's looking at their well.
Yeah, so we are going to see Furters being in charge here, painting the map blue, but Full Meta Jacket is not out of this game yet. They just got to take a breath, rotate around, clear, get level 20, and they can get back into this game. It's just a matter of whether or not they're patient enough and can look to actually spring that trap once 20s are out.
Not a lot of prioritization down in the bottom lane during that last push with the Dragon Knight, so you see how far out it is in favor of Full Meta Jacket right now, and if they get a good opportunity, they could rotate down there and start working onto that bottom keep, but with more pressure up top right now, I don't know if that's really an option. They're going to go for it anyway. You see they want this camp. You know, I like the idea, but are they giving up too much right now, Jason?
You know, you can't really expect Full Meta Jacket to be able to actually fight that top anyway without level 20 and that 5v5 push, so they kind of have to give Furters whatever they want right now and try to respond in a way that they can actually get value elsewhere. They are going to try to defend. Keep's kind of a different animal when you're tanking underneath your opponent's keep like that, especially on the F.
That was a huge Syndragosa walking in though. Was ETC wanted that mosh pit, but he got interrupted. The gust there as well. And they're going to defend this keep, but I thought maybe with that Syndragosa Howling Blast we saw from Arthas, they were going to be able to find something. They do end up finding something, though, down bottom on that keep wall. They get one of the turrets down, and now with level 20 talents, FMJ might be ready to go.
Yeah, we are seeing the rotation here to the bot lane, and they're looking to cut off Full Meta Jacket on this rotation.
No Syndra here. Howling Blast does hit ETC. Polymorph now should have a power slide. There it is. Tornado going to try to pull back a few as Dallying Pig escaping with his life, getting some good healing from Decker Kane, a few of those potions. And I don't think there's enough to chase him down. Now he's about to turn it, still with that mosh pit on hand. We'll see if he wants to take it. Arthas low, and Rough Day team should be first to fall here. There he finally goes. We'll see if they can get any more, as Raynor going to be slow here. Jugger Rob in trouble. Gus still online for Barber, and yeah, he's going to go ahead and pop it, but warping through his Phoenix, he's got to back away and join his team.
Yeah, it's a nice pick for Furters. Once again, being able to win, having those isolated tools. Quick flight up to Barber is going to secure this ring around the rosy style that they've been doing with this global advantage all game. It feels like only a matter of time now with Arthas still dead for 35 seconds before Furters can find a numbers advantage somewhere and either take a big fight or get themselves a Dragon Knight.
Rexar and Misha trying to get this Bruiser camp down bottom, the only neutral camp on the map, and they will successfully grab it away. But still no one back up top for Furters. It's still in control of Full Meta Jacket, as you see them down here in this bottom lane without Arthas. Ooh, wow, that penetrating round just barely knocked his ETC back in time to make sure he didn't get that power slide stun in. As the rest of the team makes their way behind the wall, they're going to have to defend this against the Bruiser. You know, if I'm Furters, I'm going to try to get some of these towers down with this camp, but they're rotating away, and I just can't help but feel like it's a mistake right here.
Yeah, a little bit slow on the rotation game here for Furters. They could have sent somebody up to top and looked to pressure in a 4v5 over the objective, but now, you know, again, that global advantage. Barber just goes to the bot lane. He's got that upgraded flight form, the epic mount, so at 20, so he's able to do that a little bit faster, a little bit more often. Look out for Nick Dowling.
He's in big trouble. He's gonna fall first, but Death Mosh on top of a couple. But a little bit of missed synergy there. Lornado pulling them right back out, and now Decker Kane potentially in trouble, but barely avoiding Viserian's icy blast there. And then Decisive's going to make it back behind as well, but they're going to lose this fort. You see that epic mount coming into play again, just off cooldown. Barber flying up top, trying to get that shrine in control with the red team. He still has his gust, and I think he should use it here on Rexar and Misha. No, he rotates away. Oh, they stopped the channel. What?
No!
He took his channel away.
Yeah, he could have been on that instantly. I don't know why he stepped off it, but either way, they still got numbers here in the top. So they should be able to take this back, and they've got global to be able to get back down to the mid quickly. But look out, the team fight's breaking out here at top.
This is going to be a desperate fight right now for Frank's Furters, dealing up against some of these global heroes. There's the Gust, but on the backside, it's Magic Master being an absolute master there, killing off the Falstead, making this an even 4v4 fight. ETC on his way up here as well. But Orphea low, she's going to fall. Rainer getting that kill. Next might be Arthas. He's surrounded by Phoenix and Rexar. So down goes Arthas. It's a 2-for-1 right now for Frank's Furters, and they might get more. Here's ETC sliding in, getting 2 more. Make it a quad kill. Control of this top shrine. All they got to do is scoot down bottom, but it's so far away, Jason. Did they just get the keep now?
If only they had some kind of hero that could instantly jump down there, right?
Oh, this is going to be it. Johanna dead. Yeah. This is game. This is game. Indestructible popped, but she's not getting out of here. See you later, Joe. And now marching right through mid where the keep is already down with 10 seconds until the first hero respawns Falstead. They're going to try to win it right here, right now, Jason.
And I think they've got this. They're going to shred the core down here. Shields are already down. Barber does have the Gust to try to stall the rest of the members, and still 10 seconds until Arthas gets back, and there's no way they're going to take this game 1.
And that indeed will be game number 1. Going over to Frank's Furters.
Yeah, great team fighting coming out throughout that game from Frank's Furters. That was really their big advantage throughout the match. Definitely dominating in the kill count. And, you know, the global ability, the rotational ability from Full Meta Jacket kept them in the game for a while. But ultimately, a lot of what Heroes of the Storm is about this day and age is not so much about the siege or the counter pressure or the, you know, the macro play you can do. A lot of it comes down to straight up team fighting. And Frank's Furters showed us in game 1 they got the goods in that department.
So, ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 is now in the books. 1-0 right now for Frank's Furters, as we're going to take our first break of the night and go ahead and set up game number 2. We'll see you in a minute. everyone, we are back. We're here in a lobby, and we see what map number 2 is going to be. It's Towers of Doom, Jason.
Yeah, basically, if you don't like watching or casting a map here on Towers of Doom, you are just wrong. It's so exciting to be able to watch these teams. It's never over on Towers of Doom until those last core, and it's just very entertaining to see how these teams want to try to approach this map and how they execute in terms of trying to finish everything off and rotate around, and the bell tower strategies you can do. It's just a very entertaining map.
Yeah, I actually really love it. There's been some of the best matches of all time played here on Towers of Doom. I think it's perfect for the playoffs, especially here in these divisional finals here tonight. Game number 1 wasn't necessarily the most one-sided match I've ever seen. It was pretty even throughout, and I think FMJ has what it takes to take a game off this team. We're going to have to find out here on Towers of Doom. And first to pick is going to be Frank's Furters for the second time tonight.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see if either team tries to change anything up. You know, I'm of the general belief that you kind of want to stick with your strategy going in. Games go awry sometimes, but when you try and change too much of what you're trying to do, it can be a pretty difficult thing to keep your momentum rolling. And a lot of times you start to see teams crumble a little bit off of that. But right out the gate, we're going to see the same 2 bans we saw in the first game.
Yeah, so if this follows suit, we're looking at Stukov next here for Frank's Furters and Anna for Full Meta Jacket. But of course, they could change it up. Maybe something stuck out in game number 1 that they weren't expecting that maybe they don't want to deal with here on Towers of Doom, like some of that global. But no, they're going to stick to the game plan they started with, ban away the Stukov here in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, there's the Anna going out once again. So both of these teams, they already have their scouting done. They already know what their game plan is, and they're not going to change anything here. And there's the Orphea to start. So deja vu, Murda.
Identical ban. So now we're looking at Raynor and Arthas question mark for Full Meta Jacket. You know, I love the global they played in game number 1. They had the Brightwing Falstead. I think Dahaka is even better here on Towers of Doom. So many bushes for that Brushstalker. So I wouldn't hate it if they stuck to that global game plan. They're going to go instead, though, with Lucio and Jaina. 2 new heroes for tonight.
Complete 180 to start off the draft here. And, you know, again, I don't really blame them for wanting to change that strategy up. They lose in game 1. They want to bring something new in for game 2. You know, if it's something they practiced and something they game planned and are ready for, then it's good. But if not, you know, it can be kind of rough to deal with that. But on the other side, Raynor and ETC, both a really good combo of heroes there. And again, Dallying Pig with some really big mosh pits, even in the face of a lot of interrupts in that game number 1.
My pen died, and apparently every pen in my desk is also dead.
Got him.
There we go. I found one that works. This is awesome. Raynor, ETC, and that ban there, Deckard Cain from Full Meta Jacket. The final ban of the night, at least for this game, will be a Nubarak from Frank's Furters. Back on over, though, to Full Meta Jacket, having one of their main damage sources, having their support. They still need that tank. They still need that offlane. Probably something to help pair with Jaina because she can't do all the killing herself. I'd like to see them go ahead and grab their tank like the Johanna. I think this is perfect. And Falstead, although going to switch hands. Rough Day team on that Arthas in game number 1. Barber played the Falstead. They're going to pick up Falstead for Rough Day team this time.
Yeah, again, this is a great global map with your ability to quickly rotate between these different altars when you've got multiple altar phases. But also, XP is a big deal on towers. If you can get yourself a talent tier advantage going into an altar phase, it's a big deal. And Falstad gives you a little bit extra soakability before these objectives.
Arthas going to be taken away as well here for Cruncher 77. And a few heroes now exchanging hands. That final selection is going to be Rhaegar. First time we've seen him tonight. And one more pick. It's Jugger Rob on the clock. 10 seconds remaining for Full Meta Jacket here. It's game number 2. They got to get a map win here if they want to survive onto game number 3. And this last pick they're going to select It's going to be a Zagara. Oh, a little bit of a curveball here at the end, Jason.
Yeah, that is a spicy pick. And full meta jacket, you know, their backs are against the walls. This is the time when you can't afford to leave anything on the table, and they're going to go ahead and throw down with the Zagara. Really good counter pressure. This is a good Nidus map to be able to quickly rotate between these different lanes and put a lot of pressure on. She's not the worst double soaker if they want to go in that direction and try and put 4-man in bot to try and pressure that bottom bell tower. But ultimately, you know, one thing I wanted to talk about was the Rhaegar for Indecisive. The ban out on Deckard is a very good pick from Full Meta Jacket. Forcing him onto a different support. Rhaegar maybe a little bit lower tier support. And so we'll have to see if that supporting power is still there, because Lucio numbers are going to be a lot higher than Rhaegar's, but it's a question of whether or not he can get those heals when he really needs them in the team fights.
So, chat, we got to go back to you guys. Let us know hashtag FF or hashtag FMJ who you want to win this game number 2, or maybe just who you think's going to win game number 2. First game, we had 4 votes for Full Meta Jacket, just 3 for Frank's Furters, and you guys ended up being wrong. We'll find out here in game number 2. Over on the left-hand side, your game 1 winners. We got Boggs on Raynor. Magic Master playing the Orphea, Indecisive on Rhaegar, Dallying Pig playing ETC, and Cruncher77. Welcome to the field, these Ring Around the Rosie Masters. They are Frank's Furters.
And on the right, we've got Full Meta Jacket looking to take us to a game 3 here in these finals. We've got Jugger Rob playing the Zagara, Modest Roland going to be on the Lucio. We've got Runtime Logic on the Johanna, Barber on the Jaina, and Rough Day Team going to be on the Falstad.
And they're going to go ahead and just split early here with the Zagara up top, Falstad down bottom, only sending 3 here to mid. Did pick up Party Mix at level 1 is Lucio, so going to miss out on a few of those stacks here in the early game. And I like this from Rhaegar. This is actually a build I've been starting to play, the Wolf build. You're like, what's the Wolf build? Yeah, you just get all these Wolfy talents. He's going to get that extra movement speed, help chase down some heroes. And that's exactly what you're going to love when Raynor can apply those slows later on, and Rhaegar can just come in and finish them all off.
Well, in a dive-heavy comp like this as well, it can be very good to have that extra little bit of speed as you can mount up and walk away on the Rhaegar and not end up having, of course, to be dismounted in any way, really, from that wolf form. But also, it's a rotation-heavy map, so him being able to rotate around a little bit faster to do stuff like this, to go up and pressure Jugger Rob, clean up a little bit of the creep, and Rhaegar also a really good creep clearer.
Yeah, and, you know, the other hero here, Arthas, pretty darn good himself. He just walks in with his E activated and can reveal anything. So Zagara's not going to have an easy time in this top lane, especially with as much time as Indecisive is spending up here babysitting Arthas for now.
Yeah, it is going to draw a little bit of attention, though, from Frank's Furters from these other lanes, so should give Full Meta Jacket a little bit of an advantage, especially if they want to grab their camp and then look to maybe invade on the other side of the map. All I know is the Full Meta Jacket's got to get some kind of advantage off of this if they're going to stick 2 up in the top lane there.
Yeah, Johanna just checking that enemy camp, but the rest of the team not opting to go in there. So you see Boggs starting it up. He's playing this Raynor, showing up now as Rhaegar as well. 2 heroes onto this Sapper camp. Runtime Logic gonna scout it out. His team's still kind of far away. Lucio maybe gonna walk on down. But there's a lot of blue shirts here right now for Frank's Furters, and that's gonna be a successful grab of their own camp. But still gotta make a defense here down bottom. Sapper's near this wall.
They are going to look to get a little bit of damage on Johanna. That was a nice play by Dallying Pig. He made it down to the bot lane just in time to kind of push back those sappers and prevent them from getting pushed in. And you can see the result here with no Rhaegar. But look out, Barber coming in shows a little bit early there, though. That maybe could have been a pick if Cruncher77 came in just a little bit further. But now going to force him to back up. Going to give room for Zagara to quickly grab that camp here before this first altar phase happens.
Yeah, Falstad was looking to Hearth there, but Altar's active so soon, just 5 seconds away. Also wanting to help clear out this Sapper camp. So you see up top, look at this, 4 heroes pushing onto the enemy side for Frank's Furters. They're trying to zone this out, but here comes Lucio. Might have a boot, but he's quickly slid on and absolutely chopped to bits by Orphea. Magic Master picking up the first blood of the game. We're 3 minutes and 15 seconds in, and they're going to go ahead and grab themselves potentially 2 of these shrines if they can hold them off. Lucio respawning in just 3 seconds as the channel starting again for Orphea. Zagara able to throw down one of those infests on top, so Magic Master still not able to get it, but Falstead's down. Might be more with ETC threatening this front line. Yeah, it looks like full meta jacket. They're ready to concede this, Jayzon.
Yeah, that was a very nice zone out, very patiently played from Frank's Furters, and I like that they had a strat. You know, that's the difference between a lot of teams that do well and a lot of teams that don't do well in Towers of Doom. Is, you know, a lot. If you're reactionary, it can be pretty tough to play on this map. But it's clear that Frank's Furters had a strategy. They sent 4 directly to the top there, and Zagara also falling here in the top.
Ooh, so sorry for missing that. You can throw out your T-Tours. But that is going to be a kill on Zagara. Level 7 talents now achieved after 3 kills have come in for Frank's Furters. And they might be able to get some pressure. I'd love to see them invade this enemy camp. To see Boggs walking over. He's going to check it out. Defense ping being thrown out there by Lucio. And here comes Jaina right on top of Raynor. Doesn't even really see him. Maybe was able to slow him a bit. But yeah, I think Boggs should be safe.
Boggs is in a little trouble here.
He's got ETC nearby. Boggs will be okay.
Yeah, I'll be alright. You're right.
So that's just going to leave Zag up top all by herself as Falstead now in trouble. So, oh, Howling Blast going to land. Oof. And that's a dead bird. Maybe and more. Johanna
follow it up to. Look out. Runtime Logic going to be zoned out completely. Again, kind of going in the wrong direction to zone a little bit for the enemy team. But now Barber is out too, and Frank's Furters is just out for blood right now, Murda.
Oh, Howling Blast hitting as well. It's a quad kill by the end of the day. Falstead just respawning, but they're able to get 4. An altar has spawned on each side of the map. Look at this kill count. It's 3 for Rhaegar, and I told you this boy was going to be chomping. He's already got 3, Jayzon.
Yeah, and the quick rotation from Frank's Furters right to the top right, trying to deny any kind of cap here for full meta jacket, but the death timers are still pretty low here, Murda. Everybody's coming back, but Johanna is straight up in the bot lane right now, trying to cap that camp. I'm a little confused on the positioning here, but ultimately that's going to be 2 more shots going over to Frank's Furters, and they're going to end up with a 12-shot lead here before we get to these level 10s.
So taking a peek down at chat, we had some votes come in before this game number 2, and it looks like crowd support still sticking with full meta jacket, but it's pretty close, almost even again there. But they find themselves down 24-36, and a siege camp just picked up by their enemies as well as level 10 talents. They're on your screen so you can see them as Johanna getting slid on by ETC. Runtime Logic in a lot of trouble, and Johanna's down yet again. That's the 2nd time for her. 2 for Lucio, 2 for Falstead. But that is now 8 kills for Frank's Furters, the number 2 seed out of Division D East, trying to push in this bottom wall with some sappers.
That was a very early Iron Skin for Johanna, but in general, you know, Frank's Furters is rotating around here as a 4-man gank squad, and full meta jacket's just not having a very good answer for it. They've got multiple members that have been caught out solo in the jungle area, rotating around, and just can't quite find a footing here in this game number 2.
Yeah, Jaina waiting in a bush here. I'd love to see her just, you know, throw some damage out there in that little skirmish. Now just going to rotate down towards mid, and you saw that bottom fort get attacked, but it never got killed. Now, ooh, Johanna in trouble. Has that Iron Skin this time. Holding it for you, Jayzon. Learned a little lesson.
There you go.
Single altar spawn in just 13 seconds down bottom. Lucio going to skate in first and see what's going on, but he's all by himself. Falstead pretty far away with that flight, I believe, online. Jaina also still hanging out near mid, so Boggs and Magic Master are going to start channeling early, but not a lot of frontline to help them. Ooh, that shield there missed Boggs, and Raynor's going to get the channel off quick. Now ETC pressuring in. Has that mosh pit if he can find one, but they already get a kill before that barrier goes out. Could be more. Walking in a 3-man mosh. Didn't even need the power slide, and the Hyperion was already out. So that's another quad kill. Now 12 in the game for Frank's Furters. They're gonna get a keep here. The only question is how much more do they get, Jason?
Yeah, they're gonna get this bottom bell tower for sure. They can definitely rotate into mid. Again, death timer's still pretty low here at the 8-minute mark, so we're gonna have full meta jacket back. But we're gonna see how deep can full meta jacket dig here. It could be very difficult to fight back from this kind of start, but this is Towers of Doom. 12-0 on the kill counter does not mean the game is over. They've still got 20 shots, half their core available, and they're retaking bots. So we're going to see exactly how much composure this team has. This is the moment that can make or break whether or not you can end up in those grand finals and end up with a big win. We'll see if they've got it.
So you saw Arthas trying to get rid of some of that creep there, and it was just pretty good scouting by Zagara, seeing that rotation. So all that time up top kind of wasted. Finally moving on to one of these forts again is going to be Frank's Furters, but defenses here. Water Elemental dropped by Barber, trying to slow down Rhaegar. Going to miss the Cone of Cold, though, so that level 1 coming into play. Oh, what a flight in! Gust by Rough Day, sending them back towards their team. There's the Blessed Shield, locking in a couple. Now Water Elemental still on the ground as well as the barrier is unleashed. Rhaegar pushing back in as Arthas the first to fall. It's a 1-for-1 as Lucio's now out of the fight. Rhaegar still holding in, and they're going to get a kill here on Johanna. So it turns into a 2-for-1, make it 3-for-1 in favor of Frank's Furters with a double altar just now spawning. Do they go for one of these bell towers down bottom first? They're going to start this channel. But I think maybe an opportunity to be greedy, get that bell tower back and get a couple extra shots. But they're going to go ahead and just take the surefire ones. And that'll set the core health down to 12 for full meta jacket.
You gotta respect that play from Rough Day team with the aggressive flight and the gust. I just wish it had been a little bit earlier. You had all the members of Frank's Furters deep into that mid bell tower area. If he flies right then and gusts, you might even get a couple of the members into the kill zone to start that engagement off. So a little bit late on it, but again, I like this aggressive, don't give up yet kind of attitude coming out from Full Meta Jacket. They're still fighting this thing, and here comes Rough Day team with another flight to bot here to defend the bottom bell tower.
Yeah, ETC back online with his mosh pit. Dallying Pig landing a pretty good one earlier, getting that 3-man. As we see Arthas about to walk on down here as well to join his team. They see Johanna. She might be in trouble. Uses that Iron Skin and Blessed Shield just to get away. So 60 seconds until they're able to use that as an engagement tool again. And this is just a solo frontline Johanna. They really need to rely on her to be there in these fights. Without that heroic, could be tough.
Yeah, Jugger Rob back to the top lane. They do have a small window here on the same talent tier, so this is a good opportunity for them to be able to try to get some kind of fight in. But as we can see right now, the bell towers are activating triple altar phase, and level 16 is going to be in here for Frank's Furters. This could be a very rough moment for Full Meta Jacket. They need to make sure they get at least one of these. But look at the rotation in here. They're going to find an engagement.
Yeah, Water Ellie dropped as Rhaegar trying to back away as Crushing Jaws whiffs. Barrier gets released by Modus Trollin, as well as that Syndragosa from Cruncher, but first to fall will be Lucio. Second to fall's gonna be Falstead, and there might be more on the back end as Jugger Rob is down. Trying to escape is Johanna, but Jason, there are 3 altars on the map right now, and only 12 core health remaining for Full Meta Jacket, and with Johanna down, it's only Jaina on the map. Look at Boggs walking down to bottom. This is going to be GG, Jason. Just a matter of time until this channel is completed. And moving on to the grand finals to face Boogan Squad from the west. It's going to be Frank's Furters from the east.
Feel-good win for a team that has been in NGS for a very long time. Frank's Furters are your champions here. And going to be very interesting to see how they do against Boogan Squad. But looking at this map specifically here for the Div D East Finals, you know, you got to give a lot of credit to Full Meta Jacket right up until that last team fight, playing as, you know, as well as, you know, you can really call a lot of those matches. One of the worst things to have to do is to is to try and call team fights and shot call in general, being down that far in a game, but still making the right calls. That 13 to 15 fight is one you got to take. You know that if you lose it, you might be losing the game right there, but if you win it, you get back into the game big time. So a lot of respect from Full Meta Jacket tonight. They came out, they played their best, and put on a good show. But ultimately, Frank's Furters going to be advancing on.
Yeah, what a set. Game number 2, especially for them, 19-1 in kills and an absolute domination in core health. Frank's Furters definitely looking like the higher seed team tonight. Jason, let's hop on over to a lobby and see if we can get an interview with one of these players.
All right.
All right, I just messaged Dallying Pig. We'll see if they can send someone in here. But anything else like really sticking out there? Looking at this talent screen for you, or
I gotta start eating my words immediately because Indecisive was about double the healing that we saw from Lucio there. So
we didn't talk once about the Bloodlust pick from Rhaegar, which
hello.
Hello ended up working out a bit for him, huh?
Yeah, especially with all the slows that they had there, with the Arthas and Raynor being able to also slow a little bit with that salt and pepper +7, or give him some pepper, I should say. The unstable compound. So a lot of extra slows, a lot of extra engage potential, and you mentioned it. Solo frontline for Full Meta Jacket with that Johanna. She's pretty good at setting up engages, but peeling is not necessarily her strength. She can only do so much as a team just kind of waltzes on by and attacks the back line.
Oh, hey, so we have Indecisive joining us from Frank's Furters, the champions of tonight and the champions of Division D East for this season, moving on to these grand finals. How you feeling in the moment right now?
Beyond pumped. I'm so just happy and excited. This is an awesome feeling coming from being in NGS till season 2 and having never won a series without a forfeit until this season, and now we're the Division D champions. It's kind of bizarre, it's kind of wild, but it's awesome.
Well, easy claps in chat for Frank's Furters, doing it the hard way here in NGS, taking 5 seasons to get to this moment, but you're finally here. And you're looking like one of the teams to really worry about, especially if you're Bugin squad from the West. I mean, you guys look flawless tonight, especially in game number 2 on Towers of Doom, 19-1. Tell me about how you guys are feeling in terms of, like, are you at your peak right now?
I'd say it's hard to argue against us being at our peak, in all honesty. Well, I mean, there's always next week where we're going to peak even harder. We haven't even begun to peak. But realistically, I think we're looking the best we ever have looked. And I think we are only looking to go up. So
awesome. Jason?
So yeah, we kind of mentioned it earlier. I kind of want to go into the backstory a little bit. Frank's Furters has been around for a very long time. You guys are kind of the picture of, perseverance will eventually lead to success. Tell me a little bit about your guys' journey all the way through here to now being the Div D East Div D East champions.
All right, so like I said, we have never, until this season, we had never won a series outside of forfeits. So we started off as just a group of 5 friends. We all met in high school. We all went to the same high school, and so we met, and we all found out that we loved Blizzard games, and so we all decided to try out HOTS together, and we all loved it. We started off playing Team League, and we were all bronze 5 at one point. There was actually a point where we were all bronze 5 with 0 rank points, so we were the worst you could get.
Oh my God.
Yeah. At this point, we're all at least gold. Some of us in platinum, some of us not, but we're all at least gold. We've then eventually when we started, I think when we got into silver was when we decided to look at amateur leagues just because we thought it'd be fun, and we found NGS, and so we joined season 2. Lost horribly, but had a good time doing it. Season 3 changed up the roster a little bit, but it's whatever. We came back to our original roster in season 4, having still 0 wins, and season 4 didn't go any better. So same thing season 5, but here we are.
I mean,
it's a pretty great feeling.
season 6, I mean, it's the one that matters. It's the one that's here. It's the one that's now. And you guys are going to be moving on to those grand finals. Let's talk a bit about tonight. We started off on Dragonshire, and you guys went with this Orphea early. And I got to say, Magic Master looked pretty nasty on the hero all night. Found 3 kills there in game number 2. I wish I had the kill count from game number 1. But the priority on Orphea, is it the comfort for the player, or is it we really love this hero and we want it as often as we can?
It's first of all that we know that they play Orphea, so we knew it was going to be a contested pick because both teams really liked the Orphea. So yeah, it was part of it was a comfort for the player. The other part of it was trying to force them outside their comfort zone. If you can accomplish both of those things with one pick, then absolutely, by all means, you should do that. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. And then we saw you guys have to go up against this double global on Dragonshire, and even at level 20, we saw the epic mount come out from Falstead, giving them even more opportunity to try to sneak away these shrines. But you guys stayed resilient. You stayed in there, and you kind of used an ETC to your advantage there towards the end. Tell me about how that mosh pit kind of lined up and you found those kills.
It's been a joke that our only win condition this entire season has been the fat mosh pits from the ETC. Because he has been very comfortable on that hero for a long time, and it's just something that he's always liked. And it's going back through our replays, it's one of a kind. You won't see another ETC like him. He's crazy on the character, so it's just something consistent for him.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Jason, anything from game number 1 you want to talk about?
Yeah, specifically, the Rexar, big pick on that map. Is that something you guys exclusively play on Dragonshire, or is it something that you guys play around a little bit? What do you guys think of Rexar?
We think Rexar is a really good hero. I know he recently got nerfed. I think they changed one of his earlier talents. But anyways, I think Rexar is still really good despite the nerfs. I think that he should still be seeing play. I don't know if he is, but he should definitely still be seeing play because I don't think he's realistically any weaker than he was before, in all honesty.
So we move on to game number 2, and we were kind of chit-chatting here as casters about, can Rhaegar keep up with the supporting that Lucio can put out? Well, we look at the end of the game, and you had double the numbers. But I want to talk about the heroic choice at level 10. You ended up with the Bloodlust, and, I mean, all things considered, it darn well worked out. You guys just obliterated them on Towers of Doom. Was it the pick in the moment, or was it the thought the whole way through?
Oh, it was absolutely. As soon as I picked the hero, I said, we're going Bloodlust. And the whole team, I asked if I should go Bloodlust, realistically. But the whole team agreed we should go Bloodlust. So it was definitely something that we knew we were going into the game with Bloodlust. It's something that I started because there was a Storm League game one day where I was playing Rhaegar, and I was like, I've never actually picked Bloodlust. Let's see how this works out. And, I mean, it worked out pretty well. We ended up winning. And so it's I feel it's underrepresented. I feel like it's better than people give it credit for. Sure, Ancestral's great, but unless they, I don't know. I personally just feel like Bloodlust definitely has its situations in which it's better.
Sure, yeah. You can't misclick a Bloodlust onto a friendly hero.
Exactly.
Hey, Jason, we also were sitting there talking about the Zagara on the other side and how it might have ended up being an issue, but Cruncher came through with that Arthas up against it. And was there any sort of concern with the hero choices? They switched from that double frontline in game number 1 over to just the Johanna. Did that cause any sort of adjustment in your game plan?
The Zagara was something we were scared about. And I don't know if you know that, we knew that if she took advantage in the early game, she was going to just roll throughout. And so that was the reason where on the Rhaegar, I was up top for a lot of the early game, was because I was specifically trying to just clear the creep and keep Zagara pushed back to a point where she couldn't just take over the game. And it ended up working out. We ended up, winning pretty handily. So,
yeah, absolutely. Jason, anything game number 2 you want to add in?
Yeah, really the only thing I would add is the comment generally about the Zagara. Do you think that would have been any different if we had seen possibly a Lost Vikings from them that we've seen from their past, or what do you think there's anything that different that could have happened there?
I think personally they made their team really squishy by not having a bruiser or even a second tank. Their team was super squishy, so it ended up where if we walked past the Johanna, if we somehow got around her by any means, not even if we had to kill her, but regardless, if Johanna was not in the picture, we were able to just do whatever we wanted, basically. So I think that was a flaw in their draft, personally.
Well, indecisive tonight, Frank's Furters are the Division D East champions of Season 6 Nexus Gaming Series. Before we let you go, though, and start preparing for those grand finals against Bugin Squad, we want to give you an opportunity for some shout-outs. So the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I'd like to say to everyone in the chat, you can't overshoot if you don't aim first, so always remember that. And then second of all, I'd like to shout out my boys, Franklin, Franco, Frankie, Francis, and Frank. Oh, wait, no, I'm Frank. But anyways. Yeah, that's all.
Well, GG's tonight. Looking forward to seeing those grand finals. Jason, I want to say to you, thanks for being a caster tonight, jumping in with me and getting to enjoy this finals. You want to let everyone know where they can find you?
Yeah, Jason Hots at Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all of that good stuff. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. And I'm sure Murda's going to talk about the Patreon, so I'll leave that to him. But, of course, thank you, everybody, for this whole season. It's been really cool being able to cast for these matches again here this season, and all the casters have been doing great throughout the season as well. So shout out to everybody that's putting in their time, energy, and effort into all of this good stuff. Looking forward to seeing how these Div finals matches end up in these grand finals, best of fives, coming at you soon here.
Yeah, so a few housekeeping things. Definitely head on over to patreon.com/heroes Nexus Gaming Series if you want to become a patron and help support NGS, as we're going to be setting up our Season 7 here in the coming months after these grand finals. And also, there's a little charity event starting up, Jason, and I think a team tonight might have booked themselves an invitation.
Yeah, we'll get an invitation out real quick, but that's also a good thing we should definitely shout out is Saturday here in a couple of weeks, on Saturday the 25th, we're going to have an all-day event, the NGS Champions Charity Event. So it's going to be a ladder-style tournament starting with 2 representatives from Div D on each side. And then basically they'll be climbing the ladder between representatives from each division all the way up to Heroic throughout the day. So it's all for charity for St. Jude, part of their May Play Live initiative that they do. They've raised over $11 million in the last couple of years for St. Jude Children's Hospital. So definitely worth checking out on that Saturday right here on the NGS channel. And hopefully we'll have some really good teams in here. We've already had about 3 confirm, and we got a couple more teams looking into their schedule. But either way, we'll have 7 big matchups between some of the best teams that performed the best here in Season 6. And I hope everybody will come check that out.
Awesome. So that's going to conclude tonight. If you want to find me, you can find me over on Twitch at MurdaRG, on Twitter at MurdaRG, on the Discord at MurdaRG. Hope to see you guys. Thank you to everyone who helped out tonight with the follows, the subs, the bits. They're on your screen right now, but special shout out to Slexia with that resub. Bits from Moist Weenus and Turd Herder himself. That's it for tonight. I'm Murda. I was joined by Jason. And here for this interview was indecisive from the Division D East champions, Frank's Furters. We'll catch you guys soon. We're going to pass you on over to a heroic division playoff match, which has some huge implications, as the winner will end up being